You founded Flying Doctors Nigeria, and so far, how has the journey been like, right? And a few things that you very likely have learned along the way.
So, I'm a doctor by training, and I don't have an MBA. I don't have a degree in accounting. So most of the things that I've learned along the way are business.
Okay.
Lessons about investment, lessons about finance, lessons about leadership, lessons about HR. And I think that that's the same for any sort of technical person, whether you're a scientist or whether you're in the arts, like a lawyer. We graduate from school without any business skills usually. So most courses, if you're not doing an MBA, don't teach you about business. They teach you about the discipline that you're studying. Medicine will teach you about diseases and prognosis and pathophysiology. On a pharmacy course, they'll teach you about pharmacology and pharmacokinetics. On a law course, they'll teach you about legal statute and tort, but they don't teach us about the business of our discipline. And I think that over the past almost 10 years that I've been running the company, I've learned about the business of medicine, the business of healthcare, how to become a healthcare leader, and how to merge those scientific lessons and sorts of learnings and experience with finance and leadership and culture and human resources and accounting to really produce a sustainable business.
Can you think of specific instances where you had to choose between your doctor instincts, right? But you also had to make a business decision. Was there ever a time that those two clashed? And how did you navigate that period?
For me, they never have. Maybe because I'm a business person at heart as well. So I've really embraced doing business. And I know that my patients can only really benefit when I'm in credit. As soon as I start running my business irresponsibly, or I start borrowing excessive money, or I start doing things that are not sustainable, then the patients that we serve have suffered. So I think that there's always been a harmony between the business side and the medical side for me. And sort of as I grow and become smarter and become more innovative, and obviously our team evolves, we keep on thinking about how to serve our patients better.
You're a known advocate for public healthcare reforms. You talk about healthcare a lot, right? What are your thoughts on Nigeria's current healthcare system, generally?
I think that there's no real way to compare Nigeria's healthcare system to any of the healthcare systems in the developed world, simply because the nature of our macroeconomic structure, how much money we make as a nation, determines, how much we can spend on healthcare. So if you divided up all the money that Nigeria makes, each person will get a share, and that's called the GDP per capita. And right now, Nigeria's GDP per capita is about $1,500. When you get to the UKs, the Americas, the European countries, they're usually about $50,000 each. There are countries in this world that have a GDP per capita of over $100,000 each. So the amount that you spend on healthcare is directly related to the amount that your country makes per person. And Nigeria just doesn't make that much money. So the healthcare system in the UK is funded by the UK government, and they budget in the range of $250 billion for healthcare, and that covers about 60 million people. Nigeria's budget is 1/10, entire budget, not healthcare budget, entire budget is 1/10 of that amount, less than 1/10 of that amount, and that has to cover everything that we do. And Nigeria has borrowed so much that actually almost 70% of our budget is not spent on healthcare or education or roads. It's spent paying back the money that we borrowed before. So actually we're working with a very, very, very small budget, for everything that we do that has to cover 180 million people. So I believe that there are ways that we can improve healthcare funding through maybe levies, through making better use of our donor funds. But the only way that we can really approach the standards that we see in the Western world is by growing our economy. And at least when we're approaching maybe $5,000 per person, $10,000 per person, then we can start to speak of a budget of maybe $50 billion, $60 billion. And that's when you can dedicate resources to healthcare. But right now, the budget is so small that the money that we make is so small that it's very difficult to see how public healthcare can improve with so little money. So I think that we need to grow. And in the meantime, while we're in the process of growing, diversifying our streams of income and pursuing economic growth, that we need to make the best possible use of what we have and be very, very innovative. So we need to learn how to do not just more with less, but hopefully we can achieve something better with less. But the real healthcare issue is macroeconomic. Our businesses need to grow. I'll give you another example of sort of the difference between the size of the Nigerian economy and what we spend on healthcare and other economies. So if you look at a country like Norway that probably has one of the best healthcare systems in the world, they spend about $7,000 per person on healthcare. The UK spends about $4,000 on healthcare. We spend, from the federal budget, $6 per person on healthcare. So, and that's, you know, it's a significant proportion of our budget. It can still go up, but it's not going to go up to 7,000. So we really need to improve our economy, get business working again, so that we can collect taxes, so that people get richer, so the economy gets bigger, and we have more money to dedicate to healthcare. New York City and Florida both have economies that are over $1 trillion. That is 4 times the size of Nigeria's economy. And these are cities of a few million people. So Nigeria really needs to get back to business in order to improve healthcare. But in the meantime, we can manage what we have and try and do as well and as excellently with the little we have.